training things that has like 3 colors on it. You're supposed to throw it up and catch like a certain color, whatever color he calls out. So he bought us all that. But that's just like the little stuff he does to help us with our craft.
CJ was just talking about how, you know, the criticism that maybe Jackson has gotten and how frustrating that is for him. Like, for you, like, how hard have you seen Jackson work behind the scenes, and how does it make you feel maybe when people don't realize that?
Yeah, Jackson has a phenomenal work ethic, and he'd be the first person to tell you that if he was healthy, he'd be on the field. And I surely know that he's one of the hardest competitors I've ever trained with. And you know, he didn't have to come back for Iowa or Toledo, I think it was, whatever he came back for. Like, he didn't have to, but he just wanted to be on the field so bad. He wanted to play with his brothers. So I feel like that proves in itself that he would be on the field if he could.
Hey,
but,
folks, I'm going to put Ryan Williams.
You know, he's looking out for his future and the things he has to do. But he's going to be really healthy in the months coming. And wherever he gets taken in the draft, he's going to have a phenomenal career.
When you know what you know, because you have an inside seat, obviously, and then you see things thrown around on social media, you know, saying this and that about Jackson, and it's contrary to at least what it sounds like you're saying right now. How does that make you feel when one of your brothers are going through that? CJ actually, he sounded off about it, I think, as well as CJ would. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it definitely makes me angry. You know, I kind of have to hold my tongue in what I say in these interviews. But you got to take everything on social media with a grain of salt. Surely there's like tons of negative stuff that comes from Twitter and Instagram and all these platforms, but even the positive stuff is just as dangerous, because, you know, you get a big head, you get a big ego. So just take everything on social media with a grain of salt, kind of move forward about your day. You know, I have timers on my phone to remind me to get on social media. If they go off too long, too many minutes per day, then I'll turn it off. So just trying to stay locked in and focus on what we have to do. It doesn't really matter what anyone else outside this building thinks about the players and what we have going on.
And you know, when Jax announces he's out, Trey,
Folks, I have Zach Harrison at the West
he's not
40
going, what
here.
kind of motivation is that giving you guys? Maybe approach things in a loose and aggressive way, much like Ryan said he wants you guys to play.
Yeah, we always feel like we got to hold it down for the guys who can't play, because we know how much they want to play. You know, whether it was last year with guys like Crowley, he messed up his knee really bad, so we all feel for him. You know, Evan Pryor, like all these guys, Cam Babb. So we kind of play for them, play for our brothers, because, you know, once you come to Ohio State, the brotherhood is really established. Like, at first you come here for football, you come here to, you know, get better, move on to the league and whatnot. But once you get here, you stay for the brotherhood. And I can truly say this is one of the closest environments I've ever been around.
You guys have mentioned how much of a leader Jackson's been off the field. Now that we know he's not playing, what has his role been like, you know, in preparation for the Peach Bowl?
Yeah, Jackson's really stepped into his leadership role, especially last year going into this year. He's really been a voice that people can look up to. And, you know, coming into the Peach Bowl, you know, I feel like it's definitely been hard on him, but he's always been someone you could talk to. Even if it's not, you know, standing up in front of the team, he's just a phone call away, and he's there to help you with whatever you got going on.
Not to focus too much on Jackson, we were talking about you, but you just talked about his leadership role. I'm sure he'll play a part in this team going into that build-up, but there's going to be some spots that need filled in terms of that leadership on the field during the plays. How do you see your role evolve to fill that?
I feel like being a leader is something that I've always wanted to be, and it's something that I value really highly. So kind of just focusing on building that trait within myself, and kind of giving my teammates someone to look up to, and, you know, just be a solid foundation in like a hard spot that we're going to be in, because adversity is going to strike in this game. Every play is going to be a fight, so just having a steady, constant battle, and knowing that, you know, we can withstand anything.
Do you remember where you were when you watched Pac-12?
The Pac-12? I think I was at home in my basement in Lloyd's room. Yeah.
What was that like watching that game? I imagine everybody here says it was pretty tense.
Right. Yeah, it definitely was. But, you know, once they got up big, I kind of knew it was over. So my dad actually called me once they scored, like once they went up like 2 or 3 scores or something like that. My dad called me. He was just screaming. He didn't even say anything. He was just so happy. And that's kind of how everyone felt. So it was really relieving, but I mean, yeah.
When you have to practice that way, you don't know you have anything to play for. The New Year's Six Bowl is great and all, but you guys have that. How do you motivate yourself to play that week when you know like the goals you want or the goals you want to play for may not be there?
Right. That was a mindset that Coach Day have kept instilling in us. That we got to train for these moments, even though we might not get the opportunity. We got to stay in it like we're going to be in it. So that week we had like 2 or 3 great practices. We were really getting after it because there was a spark of hope. And then once we got the confirmation that we were number 4, we really got after it, and we've been having great practices thus far, and we're going to continue to do that up until the game.